Do you need some cards from today's episode? Well, you can pick them up and support the show from our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just follow the link in the description box down below. Hello, everyone. It's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Budget Magic. So, Modern Horizons is here, which means today we are heading to Modern to play a new Modern Horizons deck, and I am pretty excited for this one. This is Rakdos Unearth Goblins. So, we've played Goblins in the past, but those have been all in aggro bushwhacker builds, like 8-whack goblins. We were just trying to play 1-drops, play 2-drops, attack, 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 bushwhacker, bushwhacker. With Modern Horizons, we get to build goblins very differently. Not only are we 2 colors, but we get these tutors, we get tons of sweet 1-ofs. So this is a really different, much more grindy take on goblins. Although, I mean, in the end, we still are beating down with goblins, but we got a ton of sweet tricks and synergies. So I'm excited for this one. As you can see, $98 in paper, 13 ticks on Magic Online, so a pretty excellent price for a really sweet deck. And a quick reminder before we break down Rakdos Unearth Goblins for Modern. If you enjoyed this deck, and you enjoy Budget Magic in general, it would be super sweet of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk Rakdos Unearth Goblins, starting with kind of the core of this deck. So this deck has a few core cards that are 4-ofs, and then has a ton of 1-ofs, which we'll talk about in a minute. So Skirk Prospector might not seem like a very realistic threat, but a 1-mana 1/1 lets us sack our goblins to add a mana for each one that we sack. Can do some really sweet synergistic things in this deck, and it works well with our other core cards, which are Mog War Marshal and Goblin Instigator. So these are 2-drop goblins that put an extra goblin body on the battlefield. War Marshal kind of makes 3 goblins because it makes one when it dies as well as when it enters the battlefield. Instigator just 2, it comes with a 1/1 token. So obviously the trick here is pretty simple. We can play Mog War Marshal, sack it and both tokens to Skirk Prospector, and we end up making 3 mana for 2 mana. Goblin Instigator, we're getting our 2 mana back. However, it gets even crazier here because of our other new addition, which is Unearth. So Unearth just returns a creature, converted mana cost 3 or less, from our graveyard to play. So this turns Mog War Marshal, Goblin Instigator into even better rituals with Skirk Prospector. We can sack all of our War Marshal stuff, make 3 mana, Unearth to get back War Marshal for 1 mana, sack it again. So basically, this combination of cards lets us make a lot of mana, and we don't have any specific combo, but it lets us flood the board with goblins. Plus, these are all just solid cards in our deck, putting goblins on the battlefield. The other kind of core cards of the deck are 4 Goblin Chieftain, a Goblin Lord that also gives all of our goblins haste, and the haste part is actually really relevant with some of our cards, and 4 Goblin Matron, just a 3-drop 1/1 goblin, lets us tutor for another goblin when it comes into play. So Chieftain pumps all of our dorks. We play our War Marshal, make tokens, pump them, attack, and giving our stuff haste. We'll talk about that more in a minute. Works with some of our 1-ofs. Goblin Matron, on the other hand, is kind of the most important card of the deck, because other than the cards we've just talked about, we have a million 1-of goblins that we want to tutor up in specific situations. So first, we have a couple more pump goblins to go with our Goblin Lord package. We have 1 Goblin Trashmaster, a little bit expensive, but it comes with the upside of just blowing out decks like Affinity or Word Prison, where we can sack our random dorky goblins to blow up artifacts. We do have 1 Bushwhacker just as a tutor target. Sometimes we just want to force through a bunch of damage. We can also get Legion Loyalist, which is our way to get through blockers, especially a Lingering Souls would really stonewall our deck. Legion Loyalist says no to being blocked by tokens, also gives our team First Strike and Trample if it attacks with 3 creatures, which is nice. Then we have a bunch of removal goblins. A Mog Fanatic, good for sniping down Infect threats, Bird of Paradise, Noble Hierarch. Munitions Expert can take down big creatures or Planeswalkers, because we're always going to have a bunch of goblins on the battlefield. And then Chain Whirler, another great way to sweep away a board of Lingering Souls tokens, Young Pyromancer tokens. Finally, at the top end of our curve, we get some more fun stuff. Fossilic Bonds, or Basilic Bonds, really awesome in this deck because we can make all the mana with Skirk Prospector. We can sack stuff to Skirk Prospector, so we can just kind of drain our opponent out of the game, Aristocrat style, and it's also 3 mana, so we can get it back with Unearth if we need to, and then Siege Gang Commander combines really well with Mons because it can sack Goblins to deal damage. That also triggers Mons, which deals more damage, so in the late game, we can deal a ton of damage without even attacking, thanks to Matron finding Mons and Siege Gang Commander. Otherwise, we got 1 Krenko, and this is where the haste of Goblin Chieftain is really important. Krenko is very insane, but it normally needs to wait a turn to do anything, because it's summoning sick. It taps to make X goblins, where X is the number of goblins we control. So if we have 5 goblins, it's going to make 5 more, 6 goblins, 6 more, etc., etc. If we have a chieftain out, we can play Krenko and tap it right away to make a ton of hasty goblins that are going to be 2/2s rather than 1/1 because of our chieftain. Just smash and kill our opponent. So another absurd tutor target when it's good, and then if we don't have a chieftain or it's going to be too slow, we can hopefully just not draw it. So that's the power of Goblin Matron and these new goblins for Modern Horizons. Otherwise, for interaction, 4 Goblin Grenades, tons of damage, 5 for just a single mana if we sack a goblin at our opponent's face, a couple of lightning bolts, mana base, Blood Crypt, Dragon Skull Summit for Boding Ruins, so a bunch of dual lands, some basic lands. Sideboard wise, we got more goblins. A key Blizzard Herder. It looks weird, but the idea is this is our Tron answer. We can't afford like Fulminator Mage, plus this is a goblin, so we can tutor it up. It's a 2 mana 1/1 that when it dies, each player has to sack a land. So since we have like Skirk Prospector, we have our Goblin Grenade, in theory we could just like play this, sack it, force our opponent to sack a land. Sure, we have to sack a land, but we're a fairly aggressive goblin deck that doesn't need a ton of lands, so we hopefully break the symmetry of that, and if we're getting our opponent to like sack a Tron land, it is even better. So kind of weird backdoor Tron hate that we can tutor up with Matron. Otherwise, a ton of removal customization, Crate Maker for artifact decks in specific, dealing with like the Karn Lock, Munitions Expert to take down big things and Planeswalkers, Chain Whirler for aggro go wide decks, Tormod Script for graveyard decks, Duress for control and combo, and that is Rakdos Unearth Goblins, and that's our budget magic tech for today. So anyway, let's get to the gameplay, see if a kind of slower, grindier, new Modern Horizon card version of Goblins can compete in Modern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I will talk to you soon. Alright, budget magic time. We are playing some Rakdos Unearth Goblins in Modern. And, yeah, I mean, this hand's relatively fine-ish. Tap land for our opponent, and passes. Control A. Well, play the Mountain, play Skirk Prospector. Pass the turn. Well, we get to play Goblins. We'll see how many wraths our opponent has. That is a concern. Island for our opponent, and passes. Dragon Skull Summit, and Goblin Instigator. Make some goblins. Go to combat. Get in with Prospector. Opponent down to 19. Pass the turn. Island for our opponent, and Narset. Alright, well that just dies. Opponent does get a card out of the deal, but takes down Narset. Finds what? Just an opt. Alright, opponent passing. Another Prospector. So, well, let's Mountain. Go to combat. Kill Narset. Play Matron. Get... We have many options. I guess we just start with Chieftain. Pass the turn. See if our opponent has a Wrath. That would be annoying. Opponent. Tapping. Untapping. Yield of Guin. And Narset Part 2. Okay. Takes down Narset. Into Narset. Narset's for days. Opponent passes. We draw. Trash Master. Well, Blood Crypt. Untapped. Chieftain. Prospector. Go to combat. Oh, opponent has a path. Alright. Well, that is disappointing. Grab a Mountain. Narset, 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 opponent. Actually, we only really need to hit Narset for 2. Narset, Narset, opponent, opponent. Alright. Yep. Opponent down to 17, Narset down to 1. Pass the turn. Because it's not like we're drawing extra cards, so a Narset with 1 counter is basically nothing. Opponent. Passing. Play a... opponent's got Cryptic mana. Play Trash Master. Go to combat. Snapcaster. 4-path. Pass Trash Master. Alright. Yep. Well, we will take a land. Everything at our opponent. Opponent takes it down to 12 past the turn. And there's an opt. I assume our opponent's looking for white mana to Wrath, which is kind of annoying. I wish we could find a Mons. Mons would be nice. Like Matron into Mons. That would go a long way here. Opponent scries to the bottom. Untaps. Narset still on 1. We know there's a Narset in hand. What does our opponent find? It's an island, so that's not Wrath mana still. Opponent still just got 1 white source. Alright. Blows up a Blood Crypt. Gets another white source. We will take a... I guess a Swamp is fine. Opponent gets Plains number 2. And passes. We draw. Bushwhacker. Ooh. Alright. So, let's see. Play Mog War Marshal. Resolves. Kick a Bushwhacker. Resolves. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. And death. Opponent blocks. And dies! Okay! Take that blue-white control. We just Goblin them. We drew our Bushwhacker, which we're not a Bushwhacker deck. We have a single tutor target Bushwhacker, but it worked. It worked. Well, Munitions Expert seems interesting because it kills Planeswalkers potentially. Duress seems very ideal. Duress is in, Munitions Expert's in. Go down. This is a bigger question. What do we cut? We can go down Chain Whirler. We can go down, I guess, a couple Lightning Bolts in this matchup. Maybe the Mog Fanatic. Trash Master. No artifacts to kill. And, what's our last cut? I guess we can go down Loyalist. That leaves us a little light on 1-drops, but I think that's fine. Run it like that. Well, game 1 went well. Opponent had Narsets and pass, and it wasn't enough. Well, okay. We'll keep this. I mean, not an insane hand, but Prospector, we're 1 land away from doing matron-y things. And we have our Bushwhacker, which can be very good. Island for our opponent passes. Well, Mountain and Prospector pass the turn. Opponent, Flooded Strand, and passes. Now, Mountain, Instigator. Make some Goblins. Combat. Yeah, we'll attack. If they sneak out a Snapcaster, they sneak out a Snapcaster. Opponent opts. Cracks. Hollowed Fountain tapped. Down to 18. Alright, pass the turn. Lands would be good. We would not mind lands. Field of Ruin for our opponent. And passing. Mons. Well, I think we just go to combat, attack, Instigator. Hope our opponent does not have White Source Wrath. Ooh, alright, opponent's passing. That's good news. Opponent passes. How do we want to do this? Alright, let's kick a Bushwhacker. Opponent's going to Path Prospector. Okay. We will take a Swamp. Bushwhacker resolves. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Snapcaster on chump block duty. Okay, that's fine. Opponent blocks, takes a beating. Yeah, let's play Dragon Skull Summit. I wasn't sure if we wanted to turn on the Field of Ruin, but I think that's fine. Pass the turn. Flooded Strand. Cracks it. And Jace. Okay, that's game. We got him. We got blue-white control, Rakdos Goblins. Sure, Brainstorm, that's fine. The problem is you are immediately dead. I mean, it's just game. We don't got to do anything tricky. Opponent, yeah, Brainstorms, fine. Passes. We draw Mountain. So we just Chieftain. Combat. And that is game. Rakdos Goblins. That felt pretty good. Taking down one of the better decks in Modern in blue-white control. All right. Way to go, Goblins. Sweet. All right. Budget Magic time. We are playing some Rakdos Goblins, and we're going to try this. This is not... It's a little land heavy, but this build have got... Oh, slivers. Oh, God. Okay. Interesting. Well, Munitions Expert seems great. That seems like one of our best cards. Hopefully that can deal with the slivers. That's gonna be. This is like Modern Horizons tribal battle. Slivers versus Goblins. Dragon Skull Summit, go. Another land is not exactly what we were looking for. Opponent. Not really worried about Mind Lash Sliver. Unless they're like milling themselves for some reason. Unclaimed territory. On. Is it Sliver Lord? Manaweft Sliver. Alright. Well, probably gonna have to kill Manaweft. And Faith. Wow. Opponent's going off. Wow. That's the only way they could actually cast it because they can't make real mana. Discards 2 lands. Yeah. Maybe we should just be playing Faithless Looting because it's so busted. Please not a land. Oh my god, it's a land. Play a mountain. Well, this is less than ideal. We didn't really want to just draw mono lands. Kill Manaweft. Pass the turn. Alright, no more lands. We have all the lands we could ever need. I mean, I guess with all these lands, drawing something like Matron is going to be sweet. Matron to get like Siege Gang commanders and whatnot. Opponent. Dredgescape Sliver. Sure. Opponent. Combat. Passes. Lightning Bolt. Well, in that case, let's just play Foreboding Ruins, reveal the mountain, play War Marshal, make some goblins, and yeah, let's just pass. Opponent. Wow, sacks. Okay, we'll discard the mountain. I guess the plan is to get back Sliver. Alright. More fun. I mean, that is the biggest, baddest Sliver. Thankfully. Oh man, watch them reanimated or something. Oh my. Are we dead? Did we need to do something different? Morophon. You gotta be kidding. First Sliver into Goryo's Vengeance. Oh boy. Well, that's the thing that happened. Sliver into Sliver. Well, now I'm guessing we probably... Alright. Oh boy. Okay, well, I guess we should have done something different. This is ambitious. Opponent draws a new handful of cards. They get to cast everything for free. Land. Okay, well, I guess they got us. That's asking for a lot to go right, but sometimes a lot goes right. Unearths a Manaweft Sliver. Well, we will kill this hate. Oh, we can't even kill it. That's game, yeah. Alright. Well, that is the least fortunate thing I've ever seen. Okay, so, opponent is janking them out. Tormod's Crypt's in. I guess Munitions Expert's in. So, kill the graveyard, I guess. Good God. Legion Loyalist out. Go down, I guess, an Instigator. Go down, maybe Bushwhacker. Goblin Grenade Unearth? I mean, we gotta just fight the graveyard. Our opponent's on, okay, a very unique build of Slivers, I guess. Alright. Well, we got a Tormod's Crypt, so getting janked out is less likely. Unfortunately, we do not have much to go with it. Skirk Prospector, go. Well, we're not going to get janked out the way we got janked in Game 1. And then we'll see how Slivers does if they actually have to play fairly. Unclaimed territory. Sliver. We would like to draw our removal. Mind Lash Sliver for our opponent. And passes. Well, Mountain. Mag War Marshal. Yeah, we'll just pass. No attacks. Opponent. Swamp. And Mana Sliver. Alright. The dream's being lived. And Faithless Looting. Discards a couple lands. Opponent. Passing. Come on, removal, please. We will let Mag War Marshal die. Krenko. Well, play Blood Crypt, untapped. Play Chieftain. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Tormod's Crypt. And pass the turn. I mean, if they could just jake us out, they can jake us out. Just like land first Sliver? What are we supposed to do about that? Opponent. We did not hit any removal. Wow. And that is first Sliver. And the dream continues to be lived into Faithless Looting. Seems like an ambitious way to build slivers since your cascades are going to whiff a lot, but, yep. Discard some stuff. Opponent. Passing. We untap. Ooh, Mons. So if we Chieftain, attack with everything. Oh, that's just lethal, isn't it? I think that's lethal. All right. Well, Chieftain. Go to combat. And that looks like 12 exactly. Whew! Okay. We survived the first sliver on turn 3. Yeah, opponent blocks, but that is still 12 points of damage. Whew! Huh! 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 Okay. Surviving somehow. Let's bring Chain Whirler, our extra Chain Whirler in. I think we want, man, we might want Crate Maker too. It's a little slow, but we might just want any way to deal with slivers. That might be our main plan here, is just like, if it can kill a sliver, bring it in. Maybe we go down another Unearth? Another Goblin Grenade, which is like slow removal, and one more Instigator. I think we gotta kill the slivers. We gotta draw Graveyard Hate, we gotta kill the slivers. Oh boy, this deck is scary. It is janky, but it is scary. Well, okay, we will keep this. We have removal on, we don't have Graveyard Hate, but we have removal on 1. Well, I mean, hopefully they don't have the Graveyard Nut Draw, Sliver Hive for our opponent. And they're really good at having Mind Lash Sliver. Mind Lash Sliver. Opponent passes. Well, Mountain Goo. They have had Mind Lash Sliver every game. Opponent. Blackleaf Cliffs. Manawef Sliver. Opponent. No attacks. Well, kill Manawef Sliver. Untap. Play for Foreboding Ruins. Reveal the Mountain. Play Mag War Marshal. So we're staying alive. I'm not sure we're thriving, but we are not dead, which is good. Not yet, at least. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire. Mind Lash Sliver Part 2. And passes. Well, we will sack Mag War Marshal. Get a Goblin. Ooh, Crate Maker. Alright. I guess that's a new plan then. Play the Mountain. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent takes it. Play Crate Maker. And pass the turn. Opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire. Stomping Grounds. Tapped. There's a Swamp. Virulent Sliver. Sure. Not super worried about getting poisoned. Opponent. Passing. Ooh, Chieftain, eh? Okay. So play Dragon Skull Summit. Play Chieftain. Go to combat. Do some attacking. Opponent. Blocks. Yup. And sacks. Well, we will discard the Mountain. Opponent discards Morophon. Alright, well, let's see what our opponent has. There's only one card in hand. So if they reanimate Morophon, they shouldn't have, unless they just top deck, Faithless Looting. Alright, still gonna only have one card in hand. And Crate Maker does kill Morophon. Another Morophon. Opponent. What's the last card? It's a Sliver. Manawef Sliver. Alright. Yup. Opponent. Passing. Do we have to kill Manawef? I think we can wait. Oh, it is risky. What's the worst thing that could happen? Alright, yeah, we gotta kill it. Do we have to kill it? Then they sack and we discard. Alright, let's just untap. See what we draw. Ooh. Alright. Play Tormod's Crypt. Play Krenko. Tap it. Make some Goblins. Go to combat. Attack our opponent! And Krenko coming through! Hoo-hoo! Alright, opponent, jump him up, jump him up, jump him up! Blocks. They gotta jump with everything. They can make us discard our last card, but with Graveyard Hate, I don't think it matters. They gotta jump with it all. I think that's game. Krenko! And opponent scoops it up, and we got slivered in game 1, but came through in games 2 and game 3. Opponent had a spicy build of slivers, and we got to see it go off in game number 1, but whew, we get to see some of the new additions to Goblins. Like, old versions of 8-Whack Goblins, you can't really play stuff like, Krenko, but in this deck, it works excellently. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Budget Magic time. We are playing some Rakdos Goblins, and sounds fine. It's a little, our Goblins are a smidge clunky. Oh boy. Something unfair is happening. Bloodstained Mire exiled. Alright, well, Foreboding Ruins, Mountain, Legion Loyalist. Getcha. Getcha. The only good news here is Trashmaster is probably good against unfair things. I guess it depends on what the unfair thing is. If it's like a Artifacty Prison deck, Trashmaster is going to be sweet. Opponent. Swamp. So it's like a black Blood Moon deck, maybe? Opponent. Oh boy. Okay. Generator Servant. Well, I guess we know where our bolt's going. So many Unearths. Go to combat. Get in with Legion Loyalist. Opponent. Takes it. Yeah, gotta bolt it. Too many bad things can happen with our opponent having 5 mana on turn 2 or whatever. Bloodstained Mire. Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets a mountain. And are we getting bridged? I guess we might start cycling Unearths next turn if we don't draw anything. Don't have any creatures in our graveyard at the moment. Opponent. Thinking it over. Faithless Looting. Always played fairly. I guess we could just die to like... Okay, that's a through the breach discarded. Okay. Opponent passing. I'll play a mountain. Go to combat. Get in with Legion Loyalist. Opponent. Down to 16. Play my War Marshal. Yeah, feeling fair at the moment. We're playing the fair deck. Make some goblins. Pass the turn. Look out, opponent, the 1/1s. They're coming for ya. Oh boy. Okay. What do you got, opponent? Nothing? Alright, opponent passes. Well, we are going to let War Marshal die. Get a goblin. Go to combat. Attack. Why did our opponent not Faithless Looting? I don't know what's going on. Go attacking. Opponent. Down to 14. So, Unearth, Mog War Marshal. The value. Oh, the 1/1s. They keep coming. Mog Fanatic. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. And Collective Brutality on Loyalist. And drains. Alright. Yep. Opponent passes. Well, Mog War Marshal dies again. It's very good at that. No pay. We draw Lightning Bolt. Well, go to combat. Hit our opponent. Down to 12. Unearth War Marshal. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent. What do you got? That's a land. Faithless Looting. Oh boy. Is there a chance we can win this turn? There's a Grizzlebrand. Opponent cracks to 11. Gets a Swamp. Goryo's Vengeance on Grizzlebrand. Oh, please draw. Please draw. Please draw. Combat. Attacks. Okay. Gain 7. Up to 18. Draws. Grizzlebrand dies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright. So untap. Pay for War Marshal this time. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent to 4. Lightning Bolt to 1. And Mog War Marshal? Huh! We survived a Grizzlebrand hit and still got the win. Okay. Okay. So, opponents playing unfair things. We will bring in Tormod's Crypts. We will bring in Duresses and Crate Makers. We will go down Munitions Expert. We will go down Legion Loyalist. We will go down a couple Instigators. We will trim a couple Unearths. We will go down a Trashmaster. We will go down a Chain Whirler. We will go down Siege Gang Kranko? Maybe we just gotta go aggro. Maybe we run it like that. Alright, try it like that. Bring in the stuff to fight the unfairness. Okay! We're up a game! That means we only gotta steal 1 to beat this unfair deck. Oh, we survived a Grizzlebrand hit. That seems pretty unlikely. Okay. Well, I mean, this hand doesn't do much about Through the Breach, but it is good at stopping graveyard stuff. So, Blood Crypt tapped, Tormod's Crypt. You. So we're not going to just die to Goryo's Vengeance at the moment. Bloodstained Mire. Crack's Bloodstained Mire. Mountain. And Chalice on 0. Okay. I wonder if they were trying to put that on 1. Oh, Prism. Alright. Okay. Well, this means Through the Breach is a thing that could kill us here. Dragon Skull Summit. Instigator. Yeah, if they have Through the Breach and a big thing, then we're dead. If we get one more turn, Crate Maker can start blowing stuff up. Opponent, untaps. Land. Are we dead? Opponent. Brutality. Duress mode. Okay. Can take an Unearth, that's fine. Opponent passing. Well, we will go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to 17. Dragon Skull Summit. Crate Maker. Opponent cracks. Blood Crypt. Tapped. And then, yeah, I mean, we are going to blow this up. Blow up Prism. Pass the turn. So our opponent doesn't have the mana to kill us with Through the Breach now. Generator Servant. Okay. Opponent's passing. We untap. We draw. Ooh, Duress. Well, go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent takes it. 14. Sadly, we need to Crate Maker. Kill Generator Servant. Pass the turn. So we're playing defense, but so far it's keeping us alive. Opponent. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Passing. We untap. Prospector. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down. 2. 12. Duress our opponent. Ho! Take Through the Breach. Play Mog War Marshal. Pass the turn. Opponent. Passing. We'll let War Marshal die. Get a token. Untap. Attack our opponent. Hit our opponent. Down to 9. Let's play Prospector. Sack Instigator. Play Matron. Oh, we can't quite win this turn. Alright. Take Chieftain. Opponent needs land Through the Breach, basically. Opponent. Untaps. And? Brutality. Well, sack Prospector. Opponent goes to 11. We untap. Chieftain. Opponent to 1. This is helpful, because this cuts off Shocklands and Fetch Lands as a source of mana. And we know our opponent's hand. I don't think there's a way out. Grizzlebrand. Oh, they discarded Grizzlebrand. Okay. Okay, what do you got, opponent? And opponent scoops it up, taking down the unfair decks to go along with the fair decks and Rakdos Goblins. The tutoring of Goblin Matron. Whew. All right. Take it down fair, take it down unfair. The deck just keeps trucking along. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. Budget Magic time. We are playing some Rakdos Goblins in Modern Horizons Modern. And this hand looks fine. We got a good Goblin curve, got a couple Lords, can Matron up something at some point. Opponent. See what our opponent's doing. Alright. Celestial Colonnade. We'll play a Mountain, play Goblin Instigator. Pass the turn. Opponent. Island. And passes. Well, play a land, play a Chieftain. Go to combat. Opponent ops. Oh, please do not blind flip a Terminus. Alright, no Terminus. Go to combat. Path on the Lord. Sure. We will grab a Mountain. Well, I guess that does slow us down a smidge. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to 18. Pass the turn. Glacial Fortress for our opponent. Serum Visions. Getting things set up for the future. Bottom, bottom. Opponent. Passing. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. To 16. Play War Marshal. Make some dorks. And yeah, let's just pass. We could potentially just flash in Munitions Expert to deal with a Planeswalker here. Opponent. Passing. Okay. Well, let's just pay. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent Cryptics taps our board. Yeah, pass the turn. Still on the snipe a Planeswalker plan, I think. Opponent. Untaps. Flooded Strand. Supreme Verdict. Alright. Well, we get a 1/1 out of the deal. And then I guess at this point we're just going to Munitions Expert. Yup. Untap. Play Instigator. Play Bushwhacker with Kicker. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for a bundle. Opponent cracks. Hollowed Fountain. Tapped. Sure. So we get in for 10, and the good news here is that puts our opponent to 5, which means this Goblin Grenade is potentially lethal. Opponent has to deal with our board, but they also have to deal with this Goblin Grenade. So we have 2 different layers of being able to win here, potentially. Teferi Time Raveler. Sure. Bounces a token, draws a card. Plains. Opponent. Passing. Ooh. Mons. Opponent Mana Leaks. Alright. So no pay. Go to combat. Teferi, opponent. And then, yeah, I mean, we're going for it. Grenade. Sacking token. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. They actually had a Spell Pierce. Alright. Well, it's not over yet. Jace. Brainstorms with Jace. Okay. I thought our opponent was dead. I am surprised they had a Spell Pierce there. Opponent brainstorms. Plays a land. Passes. Well, go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Oh, dead. No answer. Okay. We did get there. It was a bit challenging, but we got there. Okay, so control. Munitions Expert can kill Planeswalkers. Duresses are very good. Go down Chain Whirler. Go down Trash Master. Go down probably 2 Lightning Bolts. The Legion Loyalist. And 1 Let's go 1 Unearth. Let's go 3 Unearths. Try it like that. We want to keep a critical mass of threats. Alright, we stole it. We did steal it. I wonder if Blizzard Herder could be worth it. It's in the deck for Tron, but maybe it's worth it against control. I mean, I assume we can function down lands better than our opponent. Let's go 1. Let's try 1. Bring it in over an Instigator. I don't know if that's right or not, but I think it's worth trying. Maybe we go down, let's go down Fnatic too. Let's try both. I'm curious how good Blizzard Herder could be in this matchup. So opponent's on the play here for game number 2. And, well, okay. This hand seems reasonable. Opponent. Island. And passes. Well, let's Blood Crypt. And, yeah, let's just Duress. Opponent ups. Alright. Snapcaster, a bunch of lands, although one of them is a Blast Zone, which is decent. Tap land for our opponent. Well, Dragon Skull Summit and Prospector. Pass the turn. Plains for our opponent. And passes. Alright, go to combat, get in with Prospector. Hit our opponent. If they want a Snapcaster and need our Prospector, that's fine. Alright, Snapcaster for opt. Well, in that case, let's just Munitions Expert. Kill Snapcaster. Munition Expert's pretty sweet. Card's legit. Hit our opponent. There's the opt. Yup. To the bottom. Well, play the mountain and pass the turn. The bad news is our opponent's still at 19, and 19's a fairly healthy life total. Opponent plays an island and passes. Well, play a swamp. Chieftain. Alright, opponent has a mana leak. We could have sacked our board to resolve it. Don't think it's worth it. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent down to 17 past the turn. There's a Blast Zone. Opponent passing. Yep. Well, go to combat. Attack. What does our... Oh, sacks Blast Zone. Interesting. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess we just run out Kranko and see what happens. Opponent plays a land. And they have the Wrath. Sure. Untap. Blizzard Herder. Well, let's play Instigator. All the counters. Play Blizzard Herder. Pass the turn. Opponent. Another Colonnade. And passes. Ooh, Unearth, eh? Well, Well, play Goblin Matron. Resolves. We will take, what will we take? I guess just a Chieftain. And then Unearth Chieftain. Go to combat. Opponent has Path. Well, grab a mountain. Alright, get in with our Blizzard Herder. Opponents had all the interaction. If they can find a Planeswalker to top it off, things could go bad here in a hurry. Opponent. They're also going to have this Colonnade going shortly, which is annoying. Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Interesting. Opponent, passing. Well, play Chieftain. Play Instigator. Alright, last card is a Path. We will grab a Mountain. Make some Dorks. No attacks. Pass the turn. Oh, opponents had all the answers. They've had them all. They're at 13, though. What do they draw? That's the big question. Opponent, untaps, draws. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good, please. Opponent, passing. We draw nothing. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent fires up Colonnade. Blocks. Drops to 10. We pass the turn. Opponent untaps. We have one Goblin Grenade in hand. Can we force through these last points of damage? Opponent. Lyra Dawnbringer. Well, thankfully, Goblin Grenade does answer that. Opponent passes. So, Goblin Grenade. Sack Blizzard Herder. Sack a Mountain. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent to 8. Play Mog War Marshal. Pass the turn. Can we close it out? Opponent. What do they find? Teferi. Okay. That's a redraw. I guess just bounces a token? You can bounce Matron. We'd be okay with that. Please. Please, bounce Matron. Alright, bounces a token, draws a card. Narsat. Oh, Lord. Okay. If we draw a... Oh, that's a timely. Come on, Goblin Grenade. Come on, Grenade. Or Chieftain. Or Matron. We have to let this go. Wait. Oh, we got to pay. So no Matron. All right, we pay. Prospector. Well, Narsat to Fairy. I think our opponent might have stabilized, though. They might have stabilized thanks to this timely off the Narsat. Opponent. Oh, that was a hit and a half. Timely reinforcements back up to 14. Opponent's passing. We draw a land. Play Dragon Skull Summit. Pass the turn. Yeah. That was a huge hit. We almost had it, but now our opponent's back to 14. They got plenty of blockers. So it's hard to see how we're going to get back in it now. Opponent passes. There's the Goblin Grenade. Sadly, 2 turns late. If we had drawn that 2 turns ago, that was a winning draw when our opponent was tapped out. Now, I don't think it does much. Opponent passes. Well, I mean, we got to keep trying to play stuff. Chieftain, combat, attack our opponent. Nothing, please. Fires up Colonnade. Blocks, 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 blocks. So, opponent takes 0, and they have a Path. All right. Yep. Well, there goes ye old board. Well, pass the turn. Oh, we were close. We were so close. Opponent. Colonnade. All right. This means our opponent feels like they're to the point of just winning. Gets in with Colonnade. Passes. Well, that is a Matron. Play Matron. Opponent drew a real counter. Matron resolves. We will take... I guess we take Matron. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Play a Mountain. Pass the turn. Opponent. Flooded Strand. And passing. Well, play Matron. Resolves. We will take a Mons. And pass the turn? We've seen Mana Leak. Gotta play around Mana Leak. Yeah, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Mons would be sweet if it resolves. What does our opponent have? Detention Sphere. Ew. Well, that's annoying. Yup. Hits our matrons. Opponent's passing. Well, we untap. We go to combat. Hit our opponent. Play Mons. Opponent, slow rolling the Cryptic. Alright, play Prospector. Play Prospector. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks down to 11. Hollowed Fountain. This has been quite the game. Opponent to Fairy. Ticks up to Fairy. Plays a land. Well, we untap. We draw. Chieftain. We play Chieftain. Opponent. Looks like a Logic Knot. It is a Logic Knot. Yeah, can't pay. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Down to 8. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Takes up to Fairy. Passes. We draw a land. We go to combat. We attack our opponent. Alright, Snapcaster Timely, and that does it. Wow, wowie, wow. Alright, run it back. We were close. We almost had it. So close to closing it out. We didn't quite get there, but boy, oh boy, was it close. We needed like one more turn before our opponent hit their Timely. Alright. Alright, we get to play first. And, okay, we'll give this a go. Blood Crypt, untapped. And, let's just Prospector. Go. Opponent, tap land, and passing. Well, Dragon Skull Summit. Get in with Prospector. Hit our opponent. Dress our opponent. Yikes. Spell, Snare, Doubles, Path, Cryptic, and Opt. Well, I think we take Path. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Glacial Fortress, and passes. We draw a Mountain, so go to combat, get in with Prospector. Hit our opponent. Down to 18. Play Mons. Pass the turn. Opponent ups. To the bottom. Yeah, untaps. Field of Ruin. Celestial Purge. Well, sack Mons. Ping our opponent. Opponent passes. Come on, good draw. Cranko. Well, play a land. Go to combat. Get in with Prospector. Hit our opponent. Unearth Mons. And pass the turn. Opponent ups. To the top. Yup. Untaps. Opponent plays a land. And passes. Yup. We untap. Opponent's going to Path Mons. So we will just sack Mons. Make some dorks. Ping our opponent. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to 14. Pass the turn. Oh, we're grinding. We're trying. Opponent, what do you got? Going to Field of Ruin. Sure. We'll take our Swamp. Opponent. Flooded Strand. Cracks Flooded Strand. Gets Plains. Lyra Dawnbringer. Whew. Can we kill this Lyra? Untap. The answer is not yet. Actually, this works. We Unearth Mons. We Munitions Expert. Oh, this perfectly works. Kill Lyra. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Down to 10. Land tapped. Pass the turn. Oh boy, this is close. This is super close. We got 5 damage on board from sacking. Field of Ruin for our opponent. Cryptic, Spell Snare, 1 unknown in hand. Is Mons coming through? Opponent. Cryptic to bounce Mons. Okay. Sure. Opponent's passing. We untap. We play... Actually, first we go to combat. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Opponent takes it. We play Mons. We Goblin Grenade our opponent's face. Sacking Munitions Expert. Ping our opponent. Ping our opponent. And that's game! Taking down blue-white control! Whoo! Goblins, Mons, Unearth. That was a great showing for our new cards. We got to go off with Unearth and Mons and just to get it again. This deck is sweet. Sweet. All right. Rakdos Goblins. Seems like it's got potential, even on a budget, especially on a budget. Whew. All right. Whew, that was good. All right, budget magic time. We are playing Rakdos Goblins in Modern Horizons Standard, and all right, this hand doesn't have a 1-drop, but we do have good 2-drops into Lord, into Tutor. Seems fine. Not as fast as could be, but good enough. I hope. I think. Maybe. All right. So Foreboding Ruins, tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to 5. I assume that works in our favor. Marsh Flats for our opponent. Well, Mountain and War Marshal. Pass the turn. Opponent. Thought Seizes. Sure. That's fine. Opponent takes our Matron. Interesting. Leaving us with all the Bushwhackers. Well, we will let War Marshal die. Play a Mountain, go to combat, attack. Hit our opponent. 17. Instigator. And pass the turn. And we got some damage coming in the next turns. It's possible we should have just Chieftain there and ate the removal spell. With the fetch land up, it's very possible there's either Path or Fatal Push. Oh, opponent's on Esper. Okay. Huh. Alright. Tapped Hollowed Fountain. I guess we're playing Crim. Watery Grave, tapped. Opponent passes. Well, now we will play a land, play Chieftain, go to combat. They could still have Path, but they can't kill Chieftain with Fatal Push. Swing. Alright, they do have the Path, so we will grab I guess we grab Swamp. Sure. Hit our opponent. Oh, we could do some cuteness with one more land. Krenko and Bushwhacker. Opponent down 2. 12. Krenko with haste is the best. Opponent untaps. What do you got? What do you got for us, opponent? That's Shadow. Okay. And Godless Shrine. Are you going to grow the Shadow and risk losing to our board? Tapped. Opponent passes. That is a land. So play a land. Play Krenko. Opponent's thinking, what do you do about Krenko? It resolves. And now we kick a Bushwhacker. Resolves. Now we Krenko. Make a few goblins. Go to combat. Attack. Gonna grow the Shadow, but we have plenty of chump blockers. And Esper Shadow does not have the double strike spells. Opponent. Alright, trying to stay alive. Takes 6, blocks. Down to 6. Untaps. But what do you do about this board full of Krenko tokens? Thought Scour. Feels desperate. Mills themselves. Opponent. Do we got him? Esper Shadow? I mean, that's a lot of 1/1s. And opponent scoops it up? Okay. Yup. Beautiful. Opponent's playing Esper Shadow. What do we want against Esper Shadow? Huh. Maybe just like Munitions Expert, I guess. Chain Whirler doesn't seem to do much. And then maybe go down like Legion Loyalist, I guess. Yeah, let's run it like that. Esper Shadow is a little less scary than other colors because they don't have double strike spells to jank you out. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Alright, opponent's on the play for game number 2. So much action, so little mana. And by little, I mean none. So we're going to have to mulligan this one. Alright, I guess this is fine. Krenko to the bottom for now. Sure. I mean, we can go wide. Make some goblins. We might have scared our opponent away. Flooded Strand. Opponent cracks it. Yup. Watery Grave, untapped down to 17. And Inquisition of Kozilek. Takes War Marshal. Sure. Well, Foreboding Ruins, reveal Mountain, play Fanatic. Pass the turn. Opponent. Polluted Delta. Cracks it. Thought Scours. Rite of Consumption Inquisition. Thoughts. Wow, opponent. Stripping the hand. We got nothing left. Takes Instigator. Yeah, opponent passes. We draw more lands, so play Blood Crypt. Tapped. Go to combat. Get it with Fanatic. Opponent, 13. Ooh, that's a long way to go from dead, though. Unearth would be super sweet here, with so much stuff in the graveyard. Matron Resolving could be sweet. Thought Scours. Path Snapcaster Milled. Flooded Strand for our opponent. And it passes. More lands. Well, Fanatic, attack. Uh-oh. Not the best time to draw 5 lands. Opponent to 12. Play Dragon Skull Summit, pass the turn. Yeah, we needed a bit more action here. Opponent cracks Flooded Strand. Godless Shrine. Tapped. Untaps. Hollowed Fountain. Tapped. I mean, if our opponent doesn't have action, that's okay. Snapcaster. They do have action. For Inquisition. Going to take our Goblin Grenade. But we really need an action card. We've just drawn all the lands in the west. Opponent passes. Still going. Alright. Pass the turn. Well, maybe this just was not meant to work out. 6 lands is a lot for our deck. Opponent in the tag for some reason. Untaps. And Jace that we can't deal with because we've drawn all lands. Silent Clearing for our opponent. And gets in with Snapcaster, hits us. Down to 18. We draw. Land number 7. Yeah, I think we just got the bad seed on Moto. Someone's got to get the 7 lands out of 11 card draw in their 21 land deck, and I guess it was our turn to just draw all the lands. Opponent thinking slowly. Loots with Jace, flips Jace. Discards Polluted Delta. Yeah, I don't know if there's a way we can win from here. Opponent, combat, gets in with Snapcaster. Sure, 16. Jace, what you doing? Ticking up. There's a Death Shadow. Godless Shrine tapped. Opponent passes. Prospector. Alright. I mean, I guess we won't concede, but I don't think we can win. Pass the turn. Opponent. Thoughtseize. Whiffs. Yeah, we got all lands, opponent. At least we kind of janked our opponent into Thoughtseizing because we've drawn so many lands. Combat. Opponent. Attacks. Well, we will block the Shadow. And then kill Snapcaster. Stay at 16. Opponent takes up Jace. We draw. Land again. Well, play the land, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Draws. Thinks. Still thinking. Opponent. Flash back the Thoughtseize. Sure. More lands. You would think our opponent would have gotten the hint by now that we're just going to draw lands for the rest of this game. And stop Thoughtseizing. Opponent. Going to dismember. And this puts us to dead, so we will concede. Because they can... Yeah. Wow, more lands. Oh my goodness. Alright. Well, run it back. Trust that we will actually just draw like a reasonable Magic deck. Whoo! That was like 9 lands out of 14 cards, I think. That's a lot for a 21 land deck. That is a high number of lands. We're on the play. This is a little more reasonable. We get to make dorks. We have an Unearth. This seems about like what we're hoping for. No 1-drop, otherwise a good hand. Blood Crypt, go. Opponent. Swamp. And passes. Well, Mountain. War Marshal. Now we actually kind of want a land to play these matrons. War Marshal resolves. Oh boy. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Godless Shrine. Tapped. Opponent passing. Well, we will let War Marshal die. Come on, opponent. I'm a little nervous about time because I'm supposed to go get my car inspected in like 20 minutes. And I figured I had plenty of time to get this match done, but so far we've used 4 minutes and 14 seconds, and our opponent just climbed past 14 minutes. So they might attrition us out of this game by playing so slowly that I gotta get my car inspected. I can't miss I have an actual like appointment set up. So I'm a little nervous that our opponent unknowingly might attrition us out with this playing slowly technique just because I got that appointment. That'd be a shame if we lost out on a chance to 5-0 because I had to concede to our opponent playing slowly. We should be good. As long as we play fast, even if our opponent uses their whole clock, should be roughly okay to make it. Alright, so War Marshal dies. We don't get a land, so we just play Instigator. Make some Goblins. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to 19. Pass the turn. Island for our opponent. Lingering Souls. Alright, opponent gets some Blockerinos. I'll go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Blocks. Blocks. Sure. Down to 17. Well, Unearth War Marshal. Make some Goblins. Goblin Grenade War Marshal. Make a Goblin pass the turn. Oh, come on, land! Land! Opponent. Death Shadow. Sure. And Lingering Souls. Opponent passing. We draw... Well, Mog Fanatic. Kill Death Shadow. Alright, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Blocks, blocks. Down to 10. Pass the turn. Oh, this is close. Opponent, what do you got? Death Shadow again. Godless Shrine. Tapped. Opponent's passing. We draw. Alright. Yeah, I mean, we gotta go for it. Munitions Expert. Target Death Shadow. Oh, they have a path. Alright. So, this gets us a land. We hit Death Shadow for 2. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Down to 9. Death Shadow lives, unfortunately. Polluted Delta. Well, that did get us our 3rd land, which is something. Cracks it. Down to 8. Watery Grave. Tapped. Opponent. No attacks. Well, play Goblin Matron. Opponent. Oh, come on, opponent! I don't want to have to scoop this game. We're getting close, but I don't want to miss my car inspection. Matron, tutors. We will take a... Let's just take War Marshal for now. Pass the turn. Stay back on defense. No attacks. Opponent. Untaps. Thinks. Combat. Attacks. Well, okay. We will block. Gotta play it safe. Yup. Stay at 20. Opponent. Under 5 minutes on the clock. Dismembers our Goblin. Death Shadow up to 9. Right of consumption. Alright. Opponent goes to 13. 2 cards in hand. What does our opponent have? Gurmag Angler. Okay. Sure. Opponent passes. So we will play War Marshal. Get a dork. We will Goblin Grenade Angler, sacking War Marshal. Get a dork. Blood Crypt tapped. Go to combat. Get in with Matron. Opponent's got 1 card in hand. Hit our opponent. Down to 12. Pass the turn. Are we going to pull this off? Opponent. What do they have? Another Angler? Angler again. Sure. Opponent. Passing. Well, we will play Chieftain. Go to combat. Do some attacking. Opponent blocks. Takes their beats. Down to 8. Lightning Bolt Angler. past the turn. Oh boy, 2 cards in hand, what are they? We've gone through 2 Anglers. We got through a Death Shadow. We're racing the clock to the card inspection. Can we finish it off? Opponent, what is it? Unearth, Cycles. Can't get back an Angler, that's a non-bow. And Ranger, Captain of Eos. Well, I think there's bad news for our opponent. And I think that bad news is we got Big Daddy Cranko, the mob boss. So we will Cranko with haste. Tap it. Make some 2/2s. Combat. Swing them at your face. Take that Esper Shadow. Rakdos Goblins. 5-0 and getting there in time to make it to the card inspection. That's what I call a win-win. That's a win-win. Well, I'll be back with the wrap-up, but I gotta run, get my car inspected, so I'll be right back. We'll wrap it up. So what do we learn this week about Rakdos Unearth Goblins in Modern? And the deck, it crushed it. 5-0 with Rakdos Unearth Goblins, taking down all comers, and we played some pretty legitimate decks along the way. We beat 2 different builds of Blue-White Control, one of the best decks in Modern. We took down a Goryo through the breach, whatever, cheat stuff into play deck. We took down Esper Death Shadow, the new hot Death Shadow build. We did play one weird deck, the Sliver Reanimator deck, which did crazy things one of the games, but we were able to keep it under control, and I was very impressed with this deck. Rakdos Unearth Goblins, it is not as fast as something like 8-Whack Goblins. We're not going to get those nut draws where we win on turn 3. On the other hand, it is much more resilient, and we're much better able to fight through removal and fight for the long game. Goblin Matron is great at that, generating card advantage. Our Goblin Tutor targets are insane, being able to snipe all these 1-ofs when they're good and hopefully not draw them when they're bad. So all around, I was really impressed with this deck. It might even be better than 8-Whack. I think there's differences. There's big differences. The upside of 8-Whack is it is very fast, and it can beat anything because it's very fast. The downside is if you flood out and things don't really go well, the deck doesn't really have a plan B. You're just all in on the aggro plan. On the other hand, this deck, it is much more resilient and able to play a fair game of Magic. So even if your draws are insane, and maybe you draw an extra land or 2, when with 8-Whack, that's pretty much a death sentence. And you're just like, oh, I drew 5 lands, I can't win this game. With this deck, that's fine. Drawing 5 lands is actually not even a bad thing when you have Goblin Matrons to tutor up big goblins and these sack effects that you could use your mana on and all these tricks. So I was pretty happy with how the deck turned out. I also really liked Unearth. This deck takes very good advantage of it. Even just getting back War Marshals is good, but when we're getting back Chieftains, getting back Goblin Matrons to tutor up more goblins, Chain Whirlers, Mons, that grindiness of Unearth is great, and if it's ever bad, we can just cycle it away, so there's very little risk of playing it. So all around, Rakdos Unearth Goblins, deck was great. We crushed a lot of top tier decks with our budget deck this week, playing a very different take on Goblins. So if you have 8-Whack already, and you're getting a little tired of the all-in aggro plan, this is a great direction to go with your Goblin deck. And if you like tribal decks, you like tricky decks, you're a fan of Legacy Goblins, this seems like the budget deck for you in Modern. So anyway, that's been our Budget Magic Rakdos Unearth Goblins for Modern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.